Welcome back. My name's Jax, and I'm taking this Ford E350 cargo van and converting it into an RV.
In the last episode, I reinstalled the garage door panels. I carefully connected the lifting springs. That's 5. Made modifications to the aft ceiling section where it covers over the mechanicals. And after a few adjustments, I finally got the door opening smoothly.
So yesterday I went to the big box store and picked up a refrigerator that I had ordered. It's a side-by-side fridge freezer. Should work out pretty well. And while I was there, I picked up a few sheets of plywood as I'm going to start working on the cabinets. And I needed some longer 8-foot sections. I got plenty of short stuff that I can use for the interior separation partitions, if you will. But other than that, I had a nice conversation with the with the dude that helped me load the fridge, and he was pretty impressed with the progress so far in the van and what I've got going on. And we were talking about various bits and bobs, and he asked me if I planned on refinishing the floor. And I said, well, no, I was just going to throw laminate down. Be pretty easy to put down laminate. I don't intend on insulating the floor for the number one reason of headroom. I'm 6'5", and I'm already skimming the ceiling as it is. And if I throw down an inch of solid foam, it's just gonna be an uncomfortable situation for me. So I'm not gonna insulate. So what I intended was just to throw down some laminate flooring, and if there's like a thin layer of whatever to go underneath the laminate, I would probably put that underneath there, but I don't want to gain too much elevation. So but the conversation sort of triggered me in a way where, what if I do refinish the floor? What if I see what I can do about this now? So I looked at some prices. Basically, if I go with laminate, laminate flooring is going to be anywhere from $1 to $3 a square foot. This is 100 square foot space, but by the time you discount where the cabinets and the benches are going to go, we're more looking at like 47 square feet, which really isn't that very much. Now, I don't intend on laminating underneath the cabinets. That's just a silly thing to do. I would have just painted the floor and finished that space that way, and let the laminate be in the main walking area. So that's that. So we're looking at, I don't know, $150 for laminate flooring. Now, if I were to go and finish this floor, that's going to require quite a bit of sanding just to get it, to a uniform color, I guess, because it's pretty beat up. There's some pretty big grooves and gouges in here, which isn't that big of a deal. But the other facet there is I'm going to have to polyurethane it, and at the end of the day, the polyurethane is going to be $100, $125, $130. Just throw poly on there. So cost-wise, it's really moot. It's not really going to be that big of a deal. But really, the reality of it is how difficult it is going to be to crawl around on the floor here and sand 100 square feet and get it back to a finish where it's going to look okay. It'll look nice with the butcher block countertops, I think, but overall, I think it might be a little bit more work. But we're going to try it. We're going to throw down, I got a sander out, some 80 grit paper, and I'm just going to do a test area underneath one of the benches to see, what it's going to look like if I spend 10 minutes sanding an area and seeing how difficult it is. If it's not too difficult, well, maybe I'll go this route, and we'll see. But At any rate, let's see how it works out here.
Well, I don't think. I mean, it could be done. It's. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be worth it or not. It's got a lot of damage. There's a lot of big pits and ruts and scratches. I need something bigger than that little 4-inch palm sander to be efficient at this. I mean, I could go get a standard hardwood floor sander. I don't know how much that is to rent, but you know, maybe. But I'd have to go down quite a ways to get the good material. And it looks like it's only an inch. It's like an inch thick. Trouble with having keys with an automatic car, you know, in your pocket. And you bend over and you constantly, I don't know, it's a ridiculous thing. Oh yeah, and these, I'm gonna have to do something about those. Those are gonna hurt. I'll have to cut those off. Yeah, I think overall the amount of effort and money invested in trying to bring this floor back, I don't know that it would be monetarily good. Aesthetically either, for that matter. I mean, at the end of the day, you got screw holes and stuff, so you're going to see all that. So I think laminate floor is going to be better. I can paint. I'll paint underneath all the cabinet space. I'll hit the floor roughly with a sander and get the high spots. I know there's some epoxy blobs all over the floor. So before I mount in the lower cabinets or anything, I'll just hit this all with the sander quick, and then I'll be able to paint the floor. And then that'll be, you know, then it'll be sealed. But I think this is gonna be a lot of work. So yeah, basically, the sander, floor sander, will run probably about $75 for 4 hours. You got to get an edge sander along with that too, because the main sander doesn't get to the edges, which if you've done flooring, I've seen plenty of videos and watched shows about, you know, this kind of thing. So it doesn't get all the way to the edge of the wall. So I knew that was another issue, but they do have an edge sander that would get to that point. But the end of the day is, you know, you're gonna spend another $75 to $100 to prep this floor for $100 to $150 worth of polyurethane, when you could put laminate flooring down for $100, $125, all done, walk away. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go. I'll just do it that way. That'd be, you know, for me, the amount of work invested into trying to rejuvenate this floor, it's got screw holes in it, you know, exposed screw heads, which, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's I think for the amount of time I'd invest in it, I think laminate flooring will probably be better. So that's the direction I'm going to take with it. Okay. A little bit short in here with the door, with the door open. But yeah, I know we're going to start with the cabinets. I'm going to go with like a 1 foot tall cabinet. It's just gonna barely kiss that up there. The door doesn't come down any farther than the bottom of the rail, so we should be good there. So 1 foot cabinets, that'll put it just above the window. So we'll have to do some preliminary measuring to make sure I cut that correctly, but because the way the framing is going to be. And then I'm kind of hemming and hawing as far as where I want this cabinet set to stop. The reality of it is the line that's right there represents where the end of the bench seat is going to be, and what I want to do is run the cabinet to the end of the rail there. I can make a 6 foot long cabinet. I can actually make two because this side will be identical. And then from where it stops here, I can jog that back up again, and then the cabinet space will go all the way to the ceiling for the rest of the galley. But that's what I'm going to start over here. Now the only inhibition, the only problem that I'm seeing is that's awfully close to the door. So by the time you get, you get a cabinet that's 12 inches out, from the doorway here, you're going to have to, I guess it's 6 of one, half of another, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run those, 6 foot long, end it right there at the end of the rail, and then that's it. So let's go figure this out. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off at 6 feet. This doesn't matter which direction I take out of it. Applications. Okay, so I got a piece of plywood here. I got to cut to 11 inches by about 6 feet long, and I got to divide it up into 3 sections. So there's going to be, 3 2-foot partitions. This cabinet's going to go on the passenger side of the vehicle. So this is where my partition is going to go, and then I'm going to have pocket screws that are going to be fastening it to the wall, which both the top and the bottom and the sides, probably the partitions too, are going to have, so all parts of this cabinet is going to have pocket screws set up to screw into the wall, so it'll be super secure to the wall. There'll be quite a few. So that's what I got set up here, is the Kreg jig for pocket holes. I'm gonna get those drilled in first, and then we can do the sides. We'll mount the sides on there, and then we'll figure out what our interior partitions are going to be, and we can put them in too as well. So the cabinet itself, I'm going to screw and glue together so it's nice and solid, and then again, like I said, it's going to be fastened to the wall with pocket screws, so it should be pretty secure. Clearly going to run out of screws, but got the this is going to be the top of the cabinet. This is going to be the side. So now I'm just going to flush this up and make that flush on the front. And that didn't hold worth a damn, did it? Wow, what the heck? When we're going through, that didn't hold. I see. Maybe it didn't go in all the way. Seat going in. Of course. Wow, interesting. I expected them to hold a lot better. All right, so a little battery replacement there, but we got the cabinet pretty much in pretty good shape. Got the trim fascia measured out. I'm going to cut those. I'm going to use the pocket hole as well to secure that together, and then we'll mount it on the cabinet. Just like that. Just like that. Yep. Okay. Just the fuzz longer on each side. Yep, just like that. All right. Four and an eighth. 74 and 16. It's not too off bad. Not too awful bad. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to check out next week's video. And if you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe.
Couple of new bags.